fresh meat. Canada.
How did you find me?
Same way I learned to tie a bow tie and slice a pineapple. So who you working for,
I'm not working for anybody, okay?
Why did you run away?
You deprived me of my childhood. I couldn't just raise my hand and say, "Excuse me, sir, I don't think I really want to be an assassin. Can I please be excused from this secret mountain killing school?" I just want to be normal.
You are a rogue agent.
The film begins at Prescott, a clandestine government-operated institution dedicated to training orphan girls as elite operatives. These young girls, who have never experienced love, are conditioned for combat from a very early age. The headmaster, Hardman, instills in them the belief that forming attachments is a vulnerability for a secret agent. This ideology conflicts with one of the top students, designated as 83, who yearns for familial connections but finds herself unwelcome at Prescott. Despite excelling in all areas, her success breeds resentment among her peers, particularly from her rival, 84. Due to her outstanding performance, 83 becomes the first in her class to be activated for missions. Her inaugural task involves retrieving a briefcase from an individual, which she accomplishes flawlessly within minutes. As 83 is assigned various missions, she gains a measure of freedom to explore the world outside Prescott. However, this exposure also fosters envy towards the ordinary lives of girls her age. During her subsequent assignment, she takes the opportunity to observe the activities of typical children. With each film she watches, she becomes increasingly engrossed in the teenage lifestyle. Back at Prescott, 83 receives a new assignment to apprehend a notorious American arms dealer named Victoria Knox, much to 84's dismay once again. Prior to the mission's commencement, 83 is caught perusing magazines during the briefing. Although Hardman reprimands her, he ultimately selects her for the operation. Knox, known for her cunning and ability to thwart Prescott's efforts, presents a formidable challenge. To catch Knox off guard, 83 feigns capture and swiftly neutralizes her henchman. She cleverly secures a balloon to Knox before she realizes what is happening. However, an aircraft suddenly appears overhead, snagging the rope and sending both women into the air. Unfortunately, Knox retains her firearm and shoots at 83, forcing her to plunge into the river below. Meanwhile, Knox is taken aboard where she engages in conversation with Hardman, suggesting a prior close relationship between them. Below the surface, 83 survives the fall unscathed and contemplates escaping Prescott as she prepares to respond to Hardman's call. Ultimately, she decides to discard her radio, resulting in her being marked as inactive. At last, 83 breaks free from her confines to pursue her dream of living as a normal teenage girl. In an effort to obscure her past, she adopts the identity of an orphan named Megan Walsh and enrolls in a student exchange program. She selects the Larson family as her host family. Upon her arrival in Newton, USA, Megan is greeted by the Larsons, where she awkwardly embraces Mrs. Larson and her son, Parker. In contrast, Liz, the daughter, maintains her distance and does not offer a warm welcome. Megan mistakenly hugs a man she assumes to be Mr. Larson, only to discover that Mrs. Larson is divorced. Once at home, Megan appreciates Mrs. Larson's warm gestures and feels grateful. During dinner, Megan quickly bonds with Parker, who has a keen interest in ninjas, while Liz remains aloof. After the meal, Megan returns to her room to strategize her cover story. She uses images of magazine models as inspiration for her appearance, resulting in her overdressing for her first day at high school. This choice draws attention, but it also leads to bullying from her peers. Observing this, Liz derogatorily refers to her as a freak show but reluctantly offers her some spare clothes, leaving Megan feeling both sad and confused. After changing outfits, Megan anxiously awaits her turn to be introduced on stage. Roger, who operates the stage lighting, introduces himself and provides reassurance. However, Megan mistakenly references the wrong magazine, dismissing it as something only geeks would read. Despite this, Roger is drawn to Megan and becomes the first person to show her kindness, warning her about the potential cruelty of school bullies. When it is finally Megan's turn to be introduced, she is immediately humiliated by the school bully, Gooch, in front of the class. Fortunately, the school's star, Cash, comes to her aid and performs a song that captivates Megan and all the other girls. Cash helps calm her nerves and invites her to join his band, Emoticon. He then performs a song that garners enthusiastic cheers from the audience. As lunchtime approaches, Megan is invited by the cheerleaders to sit at their table but declines their offer. Based on her observations from Mean Girls, she perceives cheerleaders as deceptive individuals who may betray her trust if she allows them too close. Megan attends her first in-class session and sits next to Roger, her new friend. They quickly bond over their shared sense of humor. At the end of the session, the teacher informs the students that they will need to sit with their assigned partners the following day, prompting Megan to fixate on Cash. As Megan watches Cash leave the room, she is unexpectedly slapped by Gooch, but she adeptly defends herself and takes him down. That evening, Megan stealthily enters the lab to alter the seating chart, positioning herself next to Cash. Utilizing her agility, she completes the task swiftly and exits quietly. The next morning, Megan confidently takes her seat beside Cash, but soon finds herself competing for his attention with several other girls. However, the teacher selects Cash to be the lab assistant, further complicating matters. After class, the two girls from earlier inform Megan about an opportunity to become the school's mascot. Despite knowing from her research that being a school mascot is often viewed negatively, Megan is persuaded by the girls' claims that it could lead to a romantic encounter with Cash backstage. She agrees to don the mascot costume and prepares for her performance. After mastering the mascot dance, she arrives at the audition as the sole participant. Megan performs impressively, incorporating flips and concluding with a triumphant shout, resulting in her immediate acceptance for the role. Following some home workouts, Megan becomes aware of a suspicious van monitoring her movements, which even follows her to school, causing her to feel uneasy. On competition day, she dons her Viking costume and dances to energize the event. Suddenly, masked individuals emerge from the van in an attempt to kidnap Megan. Despite being outnumbered, she skillfully defeats them one by one. It is later revealed that these individuals are students from a rival high school attempting to abduct her as part of a tradition. Realizing she has been misled by the girls, Megan hastily exits the scene, feeling embarrassed. Roger pursues her in an attempt to offer comfort, but his efforts prove ineffective. At home, Megan feels frustrated by her inability to behave like a typical girl, believing that high school is far more challenging than her rigorous training. Mrs. Larson, hearing the commotion, approaches her with the compassion of a concerned parent. She reassures Megan that such feelings are common during high school and encourages her to remain true to herself. Upon returning to school, Megan finds herself the center of attention once again, but this time she is met with applause and cheers. The earlier altercation she was involved in has gone viral overnight, even garnering support from former bullies. Suddenly, Cash approaches Megan and invites her to join a jamming session. She arrives early, and Roger surprises her from behind, leading to an accidental takedown that leaves him momentarily breathless. As they converse, Roger finds Megan's explanations about martial arts to be somewhat unusual. However, he responds with an honest smile, and their conversation continues. Their cheerful reunion is interrupted when Cash and his band arrive. Cash takes Megan aside to ask for her thoughts on his new song. While chatting with him, Megan realizes that she may not be a perfect match for Cash, yet she still feels drawn to him. Noticing her reaction, Cash invites Megan to Gooch's party that weekend, which she eagerly accepts. As she makes her way home, Megan notices a car following her, catching her off guard when the Prescotts appear. She awakens tied to a chair and encounters Hardman for the first time in a while. Hardman accuses her of collaborating with another organization and intends to extract information from her. He decides to administer a truth serum, which disorients her senses and heightens her emotions. With tears in her eyes, Megan confesses that she does not wish to be an assassin and longs to lead a normal life. Hardman ultimately releases her on the condition that she says farewell to Newton and returns to Prescott as 83. Subsequently, Megan is dropped off in a state of inebriation due to the effects of the serum. In her intoxicated state, she confronts Liz, accusing her of maintaining a facade of toughness and isolation. Megan urges Liz to remove the mask and cultivate genuine relationships with her peers. She expresses these sentiments without prior consent before losing consciousness. The following day, Megan shares lunch with Roger, where they engage in a meaningful discussion about their aspirations. Megan expresses feelings of inadequacy regarding her contributions to life, and Roger reassures her that he has always found her impressive. Despite his kind words, Megan chooses to join Cash's table. At home, Liz and Mrs. Larson debate whether Megan should be permitted to attend the party after returning home intoxicated the previous night. Mrs. Larson insists that Megan should go, with Liz accompanying her for safety. Once they arrive at Gooch's residence, the party is in full swing, characterized by loud music and alcohol, exactly what Megan desires. However, 84, under the alias Heather, is also present to monitor Megan and dampen her spirits. Heather, being more socially adept, quickly gains the favor of the attendees. Meanwhile, Liz enters a bathroom where she encounters a drunken Gooch. Gooch recognizes Liz and invites her to share tequila with him. Taking Megan's advice to heart, Liz decides to open up and joins him. Upstairs, Megan and Heather survey the crowd and identify a young man named Cash as their target. They approach him, but Cash ultimately chooses to engage with Megan rather than Heather. Meanwhile, in the bathroom, Liz and Gooch discover several shared interests, leading to the development of a friendly rapport between them. Roger arrives at the party and unexpectedly encounters Liz and Gooch enjoying themselves. Inquiring about Megan's whereabouts, he descends to find her. Unfortunately, he witnesses Megan kissing Cash, prompting him to leave in tears. The following morning, Liz is so inebriated that she falls asleep on the couch. Mrs. Larson expresses her displeasure towards Megan for abandoning Liz for breakfast. However, following this incident, Megan and Liz begin to grow closer. On her way to school, Megan is approached by Hardman, who demands her assurance that she will return to Prescott. He expresses concern for her safety due to Knox's escape from the facility. Despite this, Megan is reluctant to return to Prescott, especially as her high school experience is improving. Ultimately, she firmly declines the suggestion. In response, Hardman concedes but warns that Megan will be left to fend for herself when Knox comes for her. After missing the bus to school, Megan drives with Liz in her car. This marks a turning point in their relationship, as they begin to communicate more openly and develop a sibling-like bond. Suddenly, an unidentified vehicle pulls alongside them, and gunfire erupts. In response, Megan swiftly takes control of the vehicle while confiding in Liz about her background and the reasons behind the threat on her life. The assailant remains in pursuit, leading to a confrontation that culminates in a collision. Fortunately, both Megan and Liz emerge from the crash unharmed. Upon inspecting the pursuer's vehicle, Megan detects the scent of Heather's perfume. At the hospital, she informs Hardman about Heather's involvement. However, Hardman reveals that he did not send Heather and suspects that she may have died when Knox escaped. Connecting the pieces, Megan realizes that Heather is working with Knox. Megan requests her gear back, but Hardman denies her since she is no longer affiliated with Prescott. Once Liz regains consciousness, Megan apologizes for deceiving her and placing her in jeopardy. She expresses a desire to leave in order to protect the Larsons. However, Liz is reluctant to let Megan go. Just as Megan considers giving up, she sees a photo of herself with the Larsons as a family, which reignites her determination. She embraces Parker and enthusiastically returns to Liz, only to find Gooch waiting with her. After completing their session, Liz steps outside and agrees to confront Knox together. The following morning, Megan briefs Liz on their strategy as they prepare for an intense homecoming event. They share enjoyable moments together until nightfall. That evening, Megan and Liz are picked up by their dates for the homecoming dance. Upon arrival, Liz and Gooch clearly enjoy themselves, while Megan and Cash experience some awkwardness due to a lack of conversation. Although Megan attempts to lighten the mood with a pun, Cash fails to understand her humor. Frustrated by this disconnect, Megan decides to end things with Cash just before his performance and approaches Roger to apologize, affirming that he is the person she truly wants. Unfortunately, Heather has already established a relationship with Roger. Without hesitation, Megan instigates a confrontation that escalates into chaos at the party. As Heather prepares to stab Megan, Liz intervenes by striking Heather's leg with a corn dog, allowing Megan to swiftly subdue her. Filled with pride and excitement over her actions, Liz and Megan hastily return home, where they confront a guard. Megan enters the house while holding Knox at gunpoint. During their exchange, Knox reveals that she is the first Prescott, designated as number 1. At that moment, another guard appears, holding Liz hostage. Feeling cornered, Megan surrenders and relinquishes her weapons. Demonstrating her resourcefulness, Megan challenges Knox to a fair fight, and they engage immediately. Just as Knox appears to be losing the upper hand, she draws her weapon. Fortunately, Parker deploys a flashbang, providing the Prescotts with an opportunity to enter the house. They efficiently neutralize Knox's men one by one, culminating in Hardman capturing Knox himself. Megan expresses her gratitude to Hardman for returning to support her. In a heartfelt moment, Hardman confesses his emotional connection to Megan, his cherished student. He subsequently recruits her back into Prescott as a deep cover agent while she continues to reside with the Larsons. Megan then returns to the party and observes Cash and their teacher enjoying each other's company, but she cannot locate Roger. It turns out that Roger has been picked up by his father and is on their way home. In a surprising turn of events, Megan arrives by helicopter, professing her feelings to Roger and inviting him on another date. Roger happily accepts, and the two couples, along with Liz and Gooch, take flight together with smiles on their faces. Megan finally discovers meaningful connections in her life, making it all the more precious and worthwhile. Thanks for watching. If you are new, don't forget to subscribe for more of these recaps. Until next time, have a nice day.